Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. So we are in a different location. In case you can't tell by the fact that the walls are a different colour. If you can't, you must be a new subscriber. So welcome, or a new viewer, should I say. And if you haven't subscribed, why not? That's so cringy. I haven't done that in years. I'm so sorry. But as you can tell from my voice, I've got a little bit of hay fever. No, not a cold, although sometimes it borderline feels like one. Hate it. But it's almost 7 in the morning. I know, too early for me, but to be fair, I basically didn't sleep last night anyway, because I did a night shift Saturday night, slept a little bit too well Sunday. Like, I was still up before 4, or like 4, but yeah, managed to watch the Toronto Leafs game last night. Of course, Florida Panthers won with 1-0, obviously, to the Panthers. I've kind of had rested wakefulness. Anyway, I'm blabbering on. This week, so I say this week, well, no, I'm going to do a week. I'm going to do Monday to Sunday. I'm just going to do like a what I read in a week, what I'm realistically reading. Now, I say realistically, this week is not realistic for me. Today is the first day of my training for my new job, hence why I look a whole lot more put together with like makeup and everything at this time in the morning. I'm about to go down for breakfast. I was going to go down at 6, but it's just like cereals and whatnot, but from 7 it's like your English breakfast, so like a little bit more filling. Plan of action. We will go through my plan of action. Obviously, eat breakfast, do the training, which finishes at 5. It's from 9 till 5 for the whole week. Well, Monday to Friday. That's a lot. After I've done my training today, I need to go to Tesco. Well, no, Asda, because that's closer. And also Boots. I forgot sun cream, and it's going to be like highs of like 22. Obviously, I'm going to be in like a room this whole week, or I presume I'm going to be in a room this whole week. So I'm not going to be out much during the day, but I'm going to still get some sunlight. So I need SPF because I stupidly forgot to pack it, and I had plenty at home. On to the reading. So during the like intervals between the periods of each ice hockey, basically ice hockey is set into 3 periods. Each period lasts 20 minutes, and in between each period you have an 18-minute break. Anyway, in those 18-minute breaks, and also in the like times where there'd be like a minute or 2 of like ad break, I was reading Ninth House. I read most of it. So back when I first started it in like April last year, I started it on paperback, then bought the Kindle version to hope of getting through it quicker. Finally this year I pick it up, more so like the last month, I pick it up. Prior to me coming onto the training, I got up to 67%. No, I can't remember what percent I got up to on Kindle. And then, no, I think I got up to 50% on Kindle. Then I was like, you know what, let's switch to the physical book, because then I can see my progress and it'll make me motivated to want to finish it. Because, you know, like when you see like only 100 pages left and that amount, you're like, oh, let's finish it. But then when I was coming on training, I picked books to bring. You're stood on that because the top attachment of my like smaller tripod just wasn't there. So great. But like I just packed it. I didn't see it. I'm pretty sure I know where it is. I just didn't have it with me. Decided not to bring the physical copy. I have brought 5 different books in these. I've got the Rose Bargain. I've got Nora Goes Off Script. I've got Play Along, the second book in the Inheritance Games cycle. Is it the Hawthorne Brothers? I think. And then I have Funny Story with me. I'm a third of the way through Play Along and like 30 pages into Funny Story. I started Funny Story like a week ago, maybe 2. No, right at the end of April I started it. And I just haven't been in the mood to pick it up. But I wanted to bring options, but I brought my Kindle again for more options and decided to pick it up more. So on the physical version, I got to 67% of the way through, according to the Kindle version, when I changed my progress on here. And then this, from the progress I made this morning, I got up to 83% of the way through. So I'm in like the end stages. So I feel like I could get this done this week. I could even get it done tonight, but I feel like because of my lack of sleep, I'm gonna come back, take my makeup off, and like go straight to bed. It says I have an hour and 33 minutes remaining. That's exciting because I'm literally in the end stages of that book. As you can probably guess by the tone of voice as I'm speaking about this, it's not going to be rated highly at all. But like, I haven't DNF'd because I'm interested in where the story goes. It's just 2 long chapters. It's not captivating me at all. Well, not captivating in me in the sense of like it's not holding my attention. Like in brief periods it does, but because most chapters are closer to the like 20 pages mark, there's some that are slightly over. It's just not doing it for me. Like, give me 10-page chapters, maximum 15, or even better, 5-page chapters. When you get into 20, you're like, could this have been, yeah. But like, I'm interested. I don't know, I have the Kindle version of book 2, which is Hellbent. I might not read that, but also because I've paid for the 99p like a while back, I might read it anyway because it's a duology. So if I just read it, I'll just, like, it will be fine. Like, I just need to try something else from this author. I have recently not had the greatest experience with dark academia, but I don't think it's dark academia. I think it's the way it's written. Because with, I can't think of the name of it, but it's the one by Brunix, where basically it was just too spicy. Granted, I didn't realize it was spicy, but like I enjoyed the plot and like the storyline. I just think I haven't found the one that's going to like captivate me. I think in some ways I keep expecting the dark academia to be more like what the secret society is in like Wednesday. I just haven't found that, which I guess that kind of has like a bit more of like a fantasy element, and I think I could get along with that. I don't know, like The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, or however you pronounce that name, that's got more of like an academia essence, but I just found it like okay, but like I felt like the academia wasn't explored in the way that I wanted it to. Like, I wanted it to be like detailed and in depth, and in some ways like this is in depth, but there are some scenes where it's like I've been in like Ninth House, I've been enjoying when we've gone to like other societies and like we've seen like their rituals, and that's been exciting. It could be shorter. Like, this is 450 pages and it could be closer to 350. And I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently about books, of like they could be shorter. And like, it's not like about the books, but like I've just been in that like some books could be shorter, and they genuinely can. But yeah, what time is it? I've been rambling on. I've got 4 minutes until the English breakfast version comes out. So I'm going to end this clip, and I will update you either today or tomorrow as to how far I get through, what books I read, whether I complete Ninth House, do I get through more of it, do I pick up something else. I am honestly terrible at filming sometimes. So when did I last talk to you? Was it literally, was it Tuesday? I feel like it was like maybe Tuesday or something. Or maybe even it was Monday. I don't know. So currently it's Sunday. So we obviously need to recap some stuff that's happened during the week. Now, I will say there were a couple of days this past week where I did not read at all. I can't remember which days, but I know that there were some. Obviously Monday morning, like the very early hours, was when I read that, was it 16% or something of Ninth House? Because didn't I get to like 70 something percent or whatever, or whatever it was. I think on the Tuesday night, do I have the book with me? Then I think it was Tuesday night. I read like for just under half an hour, and I read for maybe an hour, just under an hour, and I got through, I think it was 50 pages of Play Along by Liz Tom Ford. I just hadn't been picking up physical books recently, so I only actually finished one book this past week, and that book was Ninth House. So as I was saying, I think as I said in my last clip, I was reading this on Kindle. I just so happened to have the physical copy in front of me. We can remove that doggy now because I finished that. I just so happened to have it in front of me because I'm now home. So there, after Monday night, like Monday morning, there wasn't a game Wednesday morning. It was Thursday morning. It definitely got me more interesting towards the end. Like the plot was definitely kind of more interesting, because previously it kind of felt more slice of life / there was a little bit of mystery. It was very slow paced mystery. I do think this could have been shorter. I rated it 2 stars. I think I will read book 2 because based off of how this book ends, it sounds like there could be more plot in book 2. I just checked and it's probably about the same amount of pages. I was thinking, is it going to be shorter? But no, in fact it's going to be slightly longer. But it sounds like there could be more plot going on in book 2. And also it is a duology. I believe this, I've got Goodreads open on my iPad. This is where I find out there's going to be 2 primary works. I think I have the Kindle version of book 2. So I do want to read that, but I'm not going to keep hold of Ninth House just because, again, it was only a 2 stars, and like for me it definitely wasn't, like I was like thinking of my rating and I was like, it's not a 3. 1 is just too harsh because I did enjoy, I've got a cold, I did enjoy a fair bit of it, and like when the plot, when the mystery was the forefront and like we were trying to like resolve it, that was interesting. And I definitely do enjoy like the way it ended in terms of that, like how the main like mystery of this story ended. I just think we took too long to get to that point, because this is like 450 pages, but I do think it's well thought out. Like the world building, the societies, they are well thought out. But I'm going to do a little bit of a haul. Also, I obviously finished that Thursday morning. I haven't read anything since. No, I have. So on my Kindle, I didn't finish it Thursday morning. I did read more of it Thursday. Saturday morning is when I finished it. So there were 3 games that I've watched this week. All 3 of those, like in between like the periods, and also like when it would go to like the ads for like a minute or 2, I'd read like a page or 2 then, just to like get through a little bit quicker, especially because with Ninth House I was like, I don't care about putting it down after a page. I finished Ninth House like halfway through the break between periods 2 and 3. I did read like a chapter and a half of The Atlas 6, because that's the next book that I'm going to use as my like in between like NHL period games, if that makes sense. I am for the NHL I am a Leafs fan. For the UK I'm a Panthers fan, which is quite funny because at the moment the Leafs are playing the Panthers. Tonight is game 7, so it's like the game. So I was in a queue today to have my photo taken with the playoff trophy, because the Nottingham Panthers won the playoffs this year. So I had my photo taken with it because I was like, well, why not? And I found out behind me in the queue was this lad, like I'd say like 17 or so, maybe 16, I don't know, about that age, and his mum. Basically I found out that for the NHL it's whoever gets to 4 games, is like 4 games that they've won, they're the winner. like you can't have it like being even. And today is game 7 because the last game the Leafs managed to get better. But yeah, so I'm watching the Leafs game. If the Leafs don't win, then I'll start watching the Oilers games. Basically, I will choose a Canadian team, and then if a Canadian team is like out, I'll then look at like all of the like teams, because I don't want, it sounds weird, but I don't want to support the Florida Panthers. It sounds weird, but it doesn't feel right. I will end up picking a team to root for, although I would prefer it to be a Canadian team. And the Leafs, like if the Leafs get through, I'm so excited. But I have a feeling they won't. I don't know. It sounds really bad, but they did do well on their last game, so maybe. I did also buy a black hair bow because I've been getting into wearing hair bows. I don't know, it's just something cute, something fun. But I didn't have a black one, and I wanted to wear a hair bow for whilst I was having my photo taken. Because like last night I watched the David Clements Coventry Blaze testimonial game, and I wore my Panthers like white jumper, but I had like a blue hair bow in because Coventry is like blue and white, and so for me it just kind of felt right that I had something Coventry colour based on, and that's just like a fun way to do it. This happens to be like a linen blend one because I had to go into like H&M because I was just trying to find a hair bow. Cost me £10, but I did quite like the cream one, so I will go back to the cream one at some point and use that as like my white one. But anyway, the reason why I'm talking about this is because I have a slight haul. There are some books, but I will get to the books slightly later. Not later, but like it won't be the first thing. I know I say that because I'm currently in like talking about a hockey mood. But I bought a t-shirt for Panthers. On the front, all it is like this Panthers logo. And on the back, it has the Nottingham Panthers, the year it was started, which was 1946, and then the logo in the middle. At some point, probably later this month, I'm gonna purchase the playoff champion, like the champions like jersey. I do also want the champions jumper as well. So I will purchase those, but I don't know, I walked in the shop and I was like, I want to buy something like clothing, and I got this. I ended up spending £49. I did buy a couple of things. Ooh, you put it in the bag. The problem is I used the bag to store some stuff. I'm sure this will flatten over time, but I did buy a Forever R47 like kind of print, because basically number 47 is now a retired number for this player, but basically Adam Johnson, in a tragic accident again in a game against the Steelers, sadly died due to an injury from a blade hitting his neck. Recently it's been decided that they're not pressing charges against the Sheffield player, which I completely agree with. I didn't start watching it, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like it was fitting. It cost me £4. This was £25. Clothing is expensive, although I understand the NHL's more expensive. I'll put this somewhere probably in between two books at the moment, just to flatten it back out like properly. It's only very slightly bent up in the top corner, as you can see, but I think I will find like a photo frame for it, and then when like we redo my room, it might go on the wall. I don't know, I kind of want stuff on the wall now, but I want to start like having like a hockey section, which is quite funny to say based on the fact that I've only just gotten into hockey. So yeah, in total I bought 4 things. So the thing that I kind of thought I'd buy first was an autograph book, which is what I did do. I didn't know that they'd do it on separate pages. So the first autograph I got was Paws, because he was in the queue as you were waiting to go in. And then there was one player. I love how you can tell. I was like, okay, I'm based on my voice. There was one player, and that was Jordan Kelsall, number 14. I do like how he put number 14 on. That kind of makes sense. it's just, I kind of wanted to get like an autograph book because to me, I don't, like, when I get a jersey, I might get it like the odd signing, but for like a big thing, I wanted an autograph book because I don't want to have, I know it's hard to maintain like a jersey that's been signed, like a top, like I don't want to do a top because, or like a jumper, because it would be something I'd wear often and I'd want to wash, and it's hard to maintain a signed, something that's signed and wash it, like, kind of thing. Like a jersey is not too bad because I just wear it to like games. So yeah, it made more sense for me to go for an autograph book. I think for some harder to read signatures, I might buy like a label maker so that I can like just put underneath, like even just the surname. Obviously pause, I don't need to. Some of these, the fact that they put number 14, I'm like, okay, I could tell, like I could look and tell who signed it, but there might be some that I need to like label make. And then I purchased a puck. This is both lighter and heavier than I was expecting, which I know sounds weird to say. This cost me £12, by the way. Expensive, but I guess because people aren't going to be buying them like every single like game. And it is leather. I think it's leather, or at least leather texture. But you know, puck is more heavier, both heavier and lighter. Like I almost picked up and I was like, this is light. Like it is light, although it's also heavy, and so I can imagine like the damage when it goes like this against a person. Like that's also, turns out it's made in the Czech Republic. But yeah, it's the Elite League Playoff Champions 2025, and it's the group image. The thing is aesthetically I prefer the other championship ones, but also there's something about like the pucks with like the photo on, and this cost me £8. Obviously it's slightly expensive because you know, but I'm sure I'll build up my puck collection over time. I think I'd probably buy a Leafs puck because I think it would be like quite fun to have like a Leafs puck as well as my Nottingham Panthers puck. I really do wish I could ice skate. But anyway, let's get on to books because I've got 3 books here. Obviously I purchased all of them, but like 2 of them were like I went to the shop and I purchased. Also, somewhere in my room is a pre-order that I got of We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. I did get the paperback of that. Let's go for the Fairy book first because it got delivered yesterday and then obviously I got back today. So it's Broken Souls and Bones by L.J. Andrews. Beautiful sprayed edges. The moment I saw this, I was like, okay, this is going to be a good sprayed edge. This is the artwork on the inside front cover. And then, let me flick to it. And then this is the back art cover. And then this is the naked hardback, which I think is stunning. I often quite love like a quite minimal like front. So like it's, and like that's the reverse dust jacket. Like that's the original. Probably I'd say there's probably a colour shift. But yeah, this front cover is absolutely beautiful. That's the back with like the tiny description, but yeah, I just think that is beautiful with the like ravens, and like I just love that kind of design. And then I did purchase 2. So this was Thursday. I did purchase 2 books. Like I purchased 2 books. This first one I got in Tesco, and was it Tesco? Yes. And that is This Is Not a Game by Kelly Mullen. The thing that made me read like the blurb was that it was that Jenny Godfrey, who wrote the list of suspicious things, which I am yet to read. The review that got me was from Jenny Godfrey, and it says, Miss Marple meets Only Murders in the Building, entertaining from start to finish. I love Only Murders in the Building. Like, I thought this was quite fun. I didn't realise that it took me a moment to realise that that was in the shape of a knife. I just thought it was like a, you know, like a paper tear type thing. Obviously it's a clean tear, but like, you get what I mean. That's like the end pages. They're both the same. And it's just like a naked hardcover. I had to remind myself then. But it is following, that's a romantasy, I can't think of what it's called. Basically it's like set in like a house in Ireland. No, it's not. It's Ireland was the person's surname. And there's like black men involved. The host of this soiree is dead. There's like an older woman and her granddaughter. So like that's where like the Only Murders kind of bit, I think, must come in. And then a second person dies, and basically the main character and her granddaughter try to solve what is happening. The Only Murders thing is what got me. And then the second book is The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I do think this sprayed edge should be like a purple colourway. I really liked red, white and royal blue. I do still have my copy of it. And basically they're like travelling around in like different places in Europe, France, Spain, Italy. And there's like a dare between the two because they're like exes, and obviously they're going to end up falling in love. Like, I'm sure I'll read today. If not, 12:30 tomorrow morning there is an NHL game, the Leafs game that I mentioned. So, but that's like tomorrow, so it's like a different video if I film at all. I'm hoping now that I'm like settled, I'm at home, like there's no plan for me to leave home, like I'll probably get, like, I'll go to work at some point this week. Like, I don't know like when I'm working this week, but I will go to work some point this week and I will come home, and I'm looking forward to that. Like, I'll just be like a little bit more settled this week and so on. It was just this week. In a couple of weeks I'll basically have to repeat this whole thing, but like with completely different content. I'm just gonna film from this angle because technically I haven't filmed from it in a while, and also I can't be asked to grab my tripod, which I moved. I was obviously gonna update you as like whether I did any reading. I read Wuthering Heights. So I've been saying for a while that I'd only read like 6 pages from what I remembered. Turns out I read 19, although it technically started on page 6, which did kind of confuse me because of the fact that I was always saying I only read 6 pages. I restarted it and I read 30 pages and then half of page 31 because chapters don't start on like a new page, they start like midway down the chapter. It's okay so far. I think classics are harder for me to get into just because they are typically more literary fiction, or they probably are literary fiction. I don't have much to say at this point because I'm obviously such a short way through. I'm just gonna probably read this slowly, but I want to make a more conscious effort of picking it up because of the fact that I just want to cut down on my currently reading. And a lot of the other books are big chunky books, so if I can read this and some of the other books, at least I can then feel better in starting new books, because there are so many new books that I do want to start. Obviously I said I was reading Atlas 6 as my like during NHL game book, and like on my Kindle, and I will still continue to do that, but I think otherwise on Kindle I'm probably going to try focus on Harry Potter because I've got like 5 hours remaining of that, so it's kind of like, but they're like bigger chapters, so I don't feel like I can easily do that for like NHL games, and also because I want to make a progress on Atlas 6 and at least get some point of the way through it. Those are like the main ones, because Harry Potter, it's like I can easily read it and
like still have some like interest. Yeah, I want to get through some books. Again, my goal is to get my currently reading under 10. So if I can do that, that would be perfect. I obviously only finished one book this week. I didn't really make much progress on other books either. But then I did also have days where I didn't read, and that is quite typical for me. I tend to find I read more at the end of the month. Could just be because I'm thinking, let's get through some books. So I've at least got like 5 or so to talk about, and then I'll often like read like 7 in total. But a lot of the times what I'll do is I might forget to pick up a book. I'll read more on a book that I'm in the middle of, and then it'll get to the point of like I'm halfway through quite a few books, and it makes it easier for me to just knock so many, like get through so many. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video.